Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, guys. Misfits boxing is back and it's hotter than ever. Misfits boxing is basically resurrected itself because the latest event Misfits 22 was genuinely so good and so hyped. Like this is basically the maximum potential of Misfits, and if Misfits wants, it can be at this level at what it's doing right now. Recently this year, the formula for Misfits, which is basically quality over quantity, I think it's really working out because most of the fighters, like most of the superstars, like Derek, because like most of the superstars like Darren Till and Chase Demore, they are being able to fight constantly, like at every single event, and I think that's actually really good for Misfits because in Misfits 22 we saw pro fighters go at it. Ty Mitchell versus what was his name, Silky Eye, and normal influencer fighters like Numero versus Joey Six, and also MMA fighters like Dan Till versus Luke Rockhold and Tony Ferguson's return. And I think what they're doing right now, signing fighters from basically anywhere and everywhere. Joey Essex was a reality TV show superstar. Tony Ferguson was a retired UFC legend. All of these guys. I think that is working out quite well for Misfits. And like previously, like in Misfits, for example, like in Misfits 1 2, like back in those days, Misfits was basically like influencer boxing and that's it. But now it's crossover boxing, influencer boxing, old retired MMA guys boxing, everything, and I think that is working out quite well. And also Dion Dennis versus Warren Spencer, that was a very good display of what Misfits MMA can actually achieve, because Dylan's takedown was absolutely insane. But more than that, what we saw, it's not just about this is what I love about Misfits. It's not just about the fight. It's about the vibe. It's about the atmosphere. It's about what you see in the interviews and the call outs and what you see in between the fights. It's not just about the fights. And as far as the fights goes, I would say Joey versus Numero, that fight was even more entertaining than some professional fights which I've seen recently. I'll just say that, like professional boxing, like that's more entertaining than some pro boxing I've seen recently. So yeah, that's like that just goes to show you like how good Misfits can be. And ever since the prime card Misfits 10, Misfits has been really in a downfall, in a downhill, because like KSI is not fighting, and KSI was basically the only superstar. Some of the events, it just felt like absolutely soulless, like Misfits 11, Misfits 15, like those basically just felt soulless, like nothing was in there, like no work, no hyped fights, no hyped moments, nothing. But now, like ever since Dan Till is signed, is from, like ever since the Qatar card in 2024, yeah, Misfits resurrection is being like so good because we have the superstars needed. We have Darren Till, we have Tony Ferguson now, we have Fox the G, we have a lot of other guys. You probably know them. But yeah, I think Misfits should definitely continue going down this route of like basically signing everyone and anyone in, because for example Chase Demore versus the Polish prankster, that guy, he obviously was not a good fighter, though he had a pretty good chin. His boxing was not that good, but let me tell you guys, he will absolutely retire, and Misfits definitely wants people like those, which like looks like I'm really glad that people like them are actually like joining Misfits more now, because they can sell a fight, and Misfits should definitely focus on who can sell more fights rather than who can fight better. And that's, I think, the formula that is needed for Misfits to get better and better at this point, because the moments, the fights we saw, Eddie Hall versus Dylan Dennis face off, Tony Ferguson after knocking out Sorpave, just being so emotional, like being in his knees, like those types of that Dan Till calling out that pro boxer Cobra guy, yeah, like those are the moments that make Misfits so good. Anyways, that's why I saw this, guys. You guys will watch you guys think, and inshallah, see you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.